Hello. Hello. It is a being that is referred to as this channel. And as far as anyone's concerned, this YouTube video is what I am. I hope everyone's doing good. I've been up and down, as all humans have been. Not much difference there. Um, this video, this podcast episode, we got to get into it. I think that, well, I don't even think. I have come to realizations that answers are not to be created but found. As in, answers, yeah, I think it's pretty understandable. You want to find an antidote to the suffering. And that can be a lot of things. A lot of things. Like, there's also a lot of false antidotes, false potions, potions that aren't what they claim to be. Only way to find the good potions, though, are to drink them all. So don't be ashamed of guzzling down some pretty horrible potions that will end up seeping into your life in the form of quote unquote bullshit. it's a it's a fine life, a simple life. It's hard to do these episodes sometimes because I just don't know what to talk about. I'm very antisocial. I don't talk to many people. Um, I don't find the meaning. I don't see the purpose of it. I don't see what it does. I think of most communication as a distraction from reality. But when it comes to purpose and what gets you out of bed, what makes you excited about the day, I think it's very vital that those things be not anything but specific things, specific, hand-picked, created. Those aren't the answers. This is what you create is different than an answer. What you create would be a way to find an answer. The answer would be the meaning of life. And to create an answer, or not, to create a way forward to find the meaning of life, looks, in almost any sense of the way, looks like facing suffering, choosing a path, and walking. And it's not difficult. It's really not. The best moments in my life were whenever I found myself. So imagine God is a harp, one of those harps that you play, and He is God. That is God. That is creation. It's like a harp, and it's being played. And you're like a little stick figure dancing on the harp, on all the tunes as He plays it. And so if you don't understand, if you don't create some kind of understanding, then it's going to feel like you're in an ocean in a storm and you're being washed around and you have no control. And it's hell. However, once you begin to understand what's really going on, in almost all senses, all meanings, it looks something like a harp being played, and you learn to dance with the rhythm. There's a beat to it. There's a pattern. There's a familiarity to the notes. that, or the spaces between the spaces as you dance along. And you can begin to foresee the next note before the next note is played as you listen to the song. You can only foresee it though if you listen. If you don't listen, it's just like background music. It means nothing. It's just there. It's not what you're focused on. But the more you listen, the more you can dance with the weight on your shoulders. And you realize that the weight on your shoulders is there so that way you fall back down. Because God actually wants to see you dance. Shocking enough, He wants to see you happy. I think that it's a good way of thinking about things. I don't see much negativity in that perspective. And like, so, dance like this, you'll find yourself dancing in between these voids. And there's this book I read as a kid, Pilgrim's Progress. It was like illustrated, so there's pictures and stuff. But there's this one chapter I always remember, always will, where he walks through this big black void, basically, and there's a thin dirt path, and it's like a cliff. So it looks something like this, like a steep on both sides, just wide enough to where he can fit his feet on it. And he has to walk on that, and here, there's all the voices and stuff and things that try to pull him down. But regardless, it's like the valley of the shadow of death, kind of balsam, kind of think. This is where many people find themselves, and where I find myself quite often. And it doesn't really matter what you're going through, what it is. It might be, like, I watched some videos today about the military and PTSD and all that, and to me, like, someone that experienced the worst pain in their life was breaking their finger, that's going to be how they measure all of the pain that they've ever felt. There's going to be the worst and to the best. Everything else outside of that is totally theoretical. They don't actually know. And so, to you, it's true, though. And so to you, if that's the worst pain you've ever felt, then that's just the worst pain you've ever felt. And you're not going to be able to, like, truly understand things. And so if you want to get a deeper perspective, a deeper sense, dive into the ocean and just keep swimming down. I'm not saying there's not going to be fear. I'm not saying you're not going to be scared. I'm not saying you're going to be happy. But I am saying that on the bottom of the ocean, there is a place that exists that would be like the city of Atlantis. And if you ever want to make it there, you have to swim through a lot of darkness. And it's been told so many times in so many videos, so many stories, so many books. It's the same thing. It's virtually the same thing. But it's not until you lose everything that you're free to do anything. And that doesn't necessarily mean being homeless. What that means is not identifying with what you have, not identifying with what you are, what you think you are, not identifying with your current situation, not identifying, like, don't just pull yourself out of that perspective, pull your awareness back to that of a child, to where you are free to perceive anything in any way, it doesn't matter. And then you have the courage to go forward in your adventure of life with this attitude. It's the only way that I've ever found to be able to see new things, like new perspectives, to find something new that I've never felt before, never seen, or never understood. It's similar to admitting one's ignorance. I find that the most miserable times in my life were the times where I was most ignorant to most of my life. It's you don't want to be ignorant. Most people are. I am ignorant to a lot of things. You're probably very ignorant, actually. Chances are you spend most of your day numbing yourself to the reality that shit sucks ass. Straight fucking nasty ass. Gross, diarrhea booty. It's horrifyingly, it's so painful. It hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. It's like the movie Perks of Being a Wallflower. I loved that one scene where he's talking to the nurse and he's like, there's so much pain and I just can't help but see it. It's that's that's what it's like to open yourself up to that's what it can be like to open yourself up to suffering, to your pain, to reality itself, to your ignorance, to your ego, to a lot of things. It can be very, 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 very painful, but that doesn't mean it has to always be painful. I think, I believe, I've seen it with my own eyes. A lot of people, they get touched by malevolence, by something or someone that wants to hurt them. It doesn't even matter if they want to, they perceive it that way. As long as you, whatever you perceive, that's ultimately what is true to you, what you perceive. And so they'll get hurt like that, and then they don't know how to come back from it. And to that, I would tell them, if you don't want to jump in a swimming pool, you don't have to. But you're never gonna know how to swim. You're never gonna have that experience. You're gonna be sitting on that diving board your entire life and wondering what to do. And don't be shocked whenever you start suffering. Just don't, like, that's what's coming for you. It's not that it sucks or that it's a bad thing. It's that if you want to see it that way, that's how it's gonna be. You gotta you gotta like let go of what you thought was right in order to understand how you were wrong. That's really like, and if you think you have the answer, then don't be shocked whenever you never find the answer. And it makes no sense when I say it like that, but unless you've been through it, you're really just not gonna get it. You like a good example, a good topic of conversation would be we could do this, symbols. I think our lives are ultimately symbols. The bigger picture would be like pictures. Your life is like a painting. So like there's a bucket of paint on top of a ladder. You know those paint those TikToks and stuff, those videos that went viral a couple years ago, whenever it was, and they would make all these spinning pictures and stuff with just spilling paint. Well, your life is like a bucket of paint on top of a ladder, and whenever you're born to the time that you die, that's the bucket of paint falling. And whenever you die, splat, it creates a picture. And so that picture is your entire life because as the bucket of paint's falling, all you can do is learn how to love that picture no matter how it turns out after the paint's fallen. And so you can't see what it's going to look like. You can't see ahead of time. You don't know if it's going to get everywhere. If the paint's even going to stay on the canvas. You might even not even fall on the canvas. You might hit the corner of the garage and get paint all over that, all over your shit. There's a lot of things that could happen. However, the paint falling, what you can do, what I've done is that I found that works pretty well is you see yourself falling, right? You see this paint coming down, and you play with the paint. You learn to like swish it around. You might give it a little spin on a string that's attached to a ceiling fan. You could. There's so many ways that you could create this scenario that is your life. Uh, excuse me. The important thing I've found is to just realize that you have to involve yourself. You have to know what you're going for. the best path forward is a good path, to be a good person. Always pray for happiness, but don't rely on it. And if shit sucks, you probably had something to do with it. And there's probably something that you could do that would help it not suck so bad. In any given moment. Any given moment. There's pain all over the place. You gotta learn to ask the right questions. Learn to give yourself that pat on the back, that sigh, that relief at any given moment. You gotta learn what you don't know how to learn. It's like you just want to look in all the places that you're scared to look, and that's where you're gonna find all the magic that you don't know where to find. And it's like a YouTuber I've been watching recently. He calls it retard maxing, and I find that hilarious because it's that's what it can look like to a lot of people. But really, what it is in a more philosophical sense would be freeing your awareness, just freeing your awareness, taking this and allowing it to be everything. That will open you up in such a way that everything that can orientate itself in your environment will orientate itself in a way that is directly in communication with you. From there, the more you listen and shut up, the more you can be in harmony with it. The more you can be in harmony with it, the more help you can receive from nothing. It's like an empty space that fills up the spaces that you need to be filled up, that you need to have filled up for you to get the things done that you need to be done up here. And so it's like you have all these places in your head you could be, but the void fills up all the places that you don't need to be. That way you are all in all the places that you need to be. That way, whenever, that way, as you continue to exist, you will flow in tune with all that else exists. Something like that. It's a symbol. It's ultimately a symbol. It's ultimately like a picture. It's just a picture. It's what you see. That's why I think after you die, I don't think you ever stop seeing. I think this keeps happening after you die. I don't really know what happens beyond that, but I really, really do believe deep down that this keeps happening, your vision, and then also that's connected to, I don't even want to say feeling. I don't think feeling is the right word. I'd say being. So you are your what you see. And so then from there it's like a what I'm getting at is your thoughts are really important. What you put in your head, what you allow to stay there, what you flow with, what you flow with, what you go with, what you dance in tune with. It doesn't have to be a weight. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. It doesn't. It can be whatever you want it to be. And that can be a terrifying realization. That's for sure. To realize that you're at the hands of your own mercy. And then you think about all the horrible stuff you've done, and you realize that you're not that merciful. There are times, at least, where you weren't that merciful, where you weren't merciful at all. And then once you realize that you're doing that to yourself, it can be terrifying. A lot of people don't want to admit it. They don't want to come to terms with the fact that the only thing hurting them is them. I wish you the best of luck. I say to that. I don't think true understanding begins until you wish you were dead, or until you find yourself in a spot where you don't want to be. You gotta. If you want to quote unquote break free, you create the gates of heaven, and the keys to hell, keys to the gates of hell, are within your own head. So, with that said, walk forth, create your keys, open your gates, and create the way you see. With this creation, see good. With the good, give good. With the giving, share the knowledge of the giving. With the knowledge shared, take in that reciprocation. With that reciprocation, adjust accordingly. And you just never stop. There is so much more to what you are in this very moment than your wildest imaginations. Our imagination is limited to our experiences. And so if you free yourself of your experiences, also known as forgiving yourself or accepting yourself, whatever you want to use, whatever terminology, if you free yourself of this, then you will find yourself dancing alone with the gods. There's no other way to put it. It's you'll know you're there when you forgot how you got there. And then you'll know you're not there when you're trying to get there. Something like that. You just gotta be here, always, now, in this moment, infinity. In this moment, it is the only place where infinity exists. It's all in plain sight. The goal isn't to create comfort, it's to find comfort in no comfort. And the more you do these paradoxes, the more you set your life up like a paradox, the more I've done that, the more I find that everything is everything. Well being anything at the same time. Anything and nothing else at the same time. It's crazy. It's really crazy. It's bizarre. I would just advise to jump off that cliff, to break the cycle. Whatever it is you're doing, have you done it before? Do it differently. Do something else that you've never done. Just whatever it is. Don't allow yourself to be content with what little you could be. You could be so much more. You could be. And you should be. And it's your responsibility to be. You owe it to the world. The world would be better off if you were all that you could be. And it would do nothing but help. The better you would be. It's, I don't even know what it is. This just is. Just is. Nothing else to it. Like, not even like, I would say. There are thought patterns that are similar to roller coasters, except the roller coaster, as it continues, it has a little feeder, like a mouse feeder that you would have in mouse pens, or one of the guinea pigs I'm thinking of. I can't think of the right thing. Hamsters, something like that, the little water feeders that drip. And there's little water feeders on this roller coaster of thought, except the water feeder is full of like cocaine. And I'm not advising to do cocaine, I'm just saying this is what the thought feels like, what these thought patterns can feel like. They feel like a drug. Don't do drugs. But they, it will lead you, it just feels so good. It transcends feeling. It's like being good. It's not even about the feeling. You could be feeling pain and suffering, but what you're doing is so good that that's all that matters. The suffering doesn't, you don't even feel it. It's there. You're aware that it's there, but you don't even feel it. And it's like you're being protected. And I think that that's what, I think we all could have that. I think that's possible. If people would just learn to think. Not enough people, I don't really know. I don't know the things like that. I think it's it's hard to say. Like, I had someone at work the other day ask me if I was okay. That really hit me in the heart. No one ever asked that. No one. Few people do. Few people understand how to perceive my pain, though. What good is it to listen to someone's pain if you can't understand what kind of pain they're in, why they're in pain? Might as well be talking to a brick wall. And that's why it's so important to learn how to understand, to comprehend things. Because, like, if someone comes to you and they might kill themselves, and you don't understand how to relate to them or to perceive their pain, they might just do it. So it's really, there's much good in learning how to comprehend suffering and see through perception and realize that everything you think is the way it is only the way it is because you think it is that way. It's nothing's permanent. Everyone's always trying to make things straight and narrow. Gotta straighten things out. I'm just trying to wobble it up every day. You just gotta learn to be wobbly. Learn to let yourself sink. Just let yourself sink. You've been swimming your whole life. Why not? Why not? Why not? And what if, as you sink, you find you're looking down and you know the abyss of blackness, suddenly there's a light. It's weird how it works like that, but it does. You gotta sink. You gotta believe that you'll catch yourself. And you always will. Always. It's and the more you let yourself sink, the more worth it will be. It's gotta be true, though. Nothing's more valuable than the truth. Because the truth is love. But that makes 30 minutes. So we're going to end this episode with a farewell. I think it was a pretty good one. Any questions, comments, or any questions, leave them in the comments. Like and subscribe. Not that that really matters, because it doesn't. But it does. Pretty sure you understand. I think you do. Go there. Do that thing. And you do it. Whatever it is you're scared of. You don't even have to be scared. Maybe you're just scared of doing it. Maybe you're worried about doing it. Maybe you don't want to do it. Maybe you would feel disgusted if you did it. Maybe there's all these things. But I would say do it. Do it. All the way. Every inch, every cent, every ounce. Don't give up. Allow yourself to receive the answers that you're looking for, and they will show themselves in the truest light, that they are capable of being seen through at the state that you are in currently. And as you progress toward a more clear state, the light will show itself in a more true fashion. I love all of it. Thank you for listening. Namaste.